This is a good one, because it does show sometimes why decisions are more complex than you would think. So can I give up your identity? Some people, this is the mayor of Belmead that just asked me this question, okay? So he won't mind me saying this. So hall tax works like this. Dividends and interest, you pay 6% of what you, basically what you bring in. The way it works is the state gets the majority of that. Let's just call it 2/3 for now. Local governments get a third. Is it a third? It's not.
It's about a third.
It's about a third. I can't remember exactly. So a lot of people have said we should eliminate the hall income tax. It's an unfair tax on folks, which it might be. There's two main issues. One, it brings in, a good chunk of revenue for the state that's hard for us just to say tomorrow we'll do without that. We're like I said, we're kind of chipping away. The second is this: our municipalities, particularly, quite frankly, some of those, if you have a population that tends to receive a lot of dividends and interest, is doing, that's a substantial chunk of their budget. Do you mind telling me what it is at Belmead?
Belmead's about 45%. Forest Hills is about 65%.
So those are obviously, Belmead's 45, Forest Hills is 65%. Those are obviously kind of the outliers. But when I was mayor of Knoxville, it was probably 3% of our budget, which is, take $5-6 million out of a city's budget, a city the size of Knoxville. That's real money. We felt that. So a lot of people have said, well, okay, we'll end the hall tax, but what we'll do, we'll keep all the locals whole. Okay, well, that sounds great, but there's a couple of questions there. That basically means if you live in the poorest section of the state, you now are going to be paying more to keep folks in the wealthiest section whole, which is, which is problematic. The second thing is to keep them whole for how long? Let's just say, let's just say you have one really wealthy person who lives in your town, and we'll make up some fictitious, you're in Ronald City, okay, and you have one really wealthy person there. If we're going to keep you whole forever, because that one wealthy person who's getting a lot of dividends and interest at some point is going to pass away, are we going to keep you whole forever? So there's some complex issues around it. That's why I have said, quite frankly, I think we're better off to go slow, chip away at it. My goal is, at least short term, I want to make it so that the middle income retired person who's thinking about moving to Tennessee isn't disincentivized to come. We've done really well in a lot of our communities, Cumberland County, a lot of others, that have basically become a market for people who decided, I don't want to live in Ohio anymore, but I don't really want to go to Florida. And they call them halfbacks. They move to Florida and then they decide to move halfway back. So I think that's something we want to make certain is we're always amenable to them. So I've talked longer than I said I would. Thank you all very much for letting me come back.